Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of Starside Chat. I am one of your hosts, and I am joined by Zach.
Hello, I'm the other host.
How's it going, Zach?
Pretty well, I guess. Not a whole lot going on lately. What about you?
No? I have been, we don't have to talk about this in the show, but I've been watching all of the Mission Impossibles, I told you earlier, in preparation for Mission Impossible 7.
What one are you up to now?
I just watched the third one. I'm going to watch 4 and 5 this weekend, and then 6 comes out on the 27th. That's why I said 7, because it's on the 27th.
Yeah. Now, I wish that you were marathoning The Expanse instead.
I know.
But, I mean, that could be a fun thing, too, marathoning all the Mission Impossibles leading up to the new one.
I probably will watch some Expanse this weekend, but for now, I'm just, I'm all about Mission Impossible. And they're so different, because I had never seen the first or second one, and the first and second ones are vastly different from 3, 4, 5.
They're so different from the later ones, but they're also so very different from each other.
Also very true, yeah. The first one is like it almost feels like a 70s or 80s movie, and there's a lot of spycraft in it. Like, there's almost no gadgets, and it's very suspenseful. And the second one is all about like action and like globe-trotting, which is pretty crazy.
Well, it's a John Woo movie, so it's very John Woo. Like, there are doves everywhere, and like
there's doves everywhere.
Slow-mo diving and shooting.
You know what else was something? I thought about this after we had talked about it, but there's 2, maybe 3. I think there's only 2 instances where someone breaks someone else's neck, and it's completely silent, which I thought was weird.
Is it? It's been so long since I've seen that movie that I don't
There's no,
remember
like, crazy crack sound, which is, like, true to life. There wouldn't be a crazy crack sound, but it's jarring, because, like, the first scene is them in that airplane, and he's like, don't call me this name anymore, because actually I'm somebody else. And then he reaches over, breaks that guy's neck, and it's completely silent. And I was like, did he just knock him out? Or no, he twisted his neck. I guess he's dead.
Well, there's that like musical thing that they do where it's like a rock, like a little bit of rock music over top of that instead. So
yeah,
I guess that was their way of making it so it's not like super gruesome, but whatever.
Have you been watching anything lately?
Not lately. No, I wanted to go see that Skyscraper movie, actually, but I did not go see it.
Yeah, I want to see that as well. I love The Rock.
And I have been sort of marathoning The Expanse again with my dad, because he had never watched it yet, but we have not really hung out lately, so I have not seen any more of that either. So, but yeah, no, not really, nothing.
Well, should we get to the news?
I guess, yeah, let's do it.
A lot of releases this week. The first thing, I thought this was coming out on Tuesday, but it's coming out on Thursday for some reason, which is weird to me. But there was a long-promised free DLC that was coming out for Enter the Gungeon, which is a great little roguelike that I love. It's available on Switch, but I have it on PC. And it's called Advanced Gungeons and Dragons, and it adds a ton more like room variation, a ton more items and like weapons, and it's a huge content update, and it's completely free. So if you have Enter the Gungeon, definitely boot it up on Thursday, or if you don't have it, you should totally buy it, because it's usually on sale, and it's going to make a good game even better.
Yeah, I wonder if it's been on sale during the Steam sale or not.
I'm sure it was. It usually, like, because it's also been out for a while, so that's like a hallmark of something that would go on sale for super cheap. Like, GTA has been out forever, and it's always on sale like 50 to 75% off on Steam sales. So yeah, Enter the Gungeon is super fun, and everybody should check it out. And this content update is going to be fun stuff.
I like the sound of the name Gungeons and Dragons. I thought that was cool. But this is not in our show notes, but speaking of sales, did you get anything cool during the Amazon Prime Day or whatever?
You know, I wanted to get some of those Philips Hue light bulbs, the ones that are changing colors, but there wasn't a great discount from what I wanted, so I think I'm just going to wait until Black Friday and see if they get discounted even more. Also, I heard of something where they're trying to get rid of their inventory for first and second gen of Philips Hue bulbs because third and fourth gen have been out for a while, and they just want to get rid of all the stock of first and second because some of them are a little bit janky. So I'm also kind of leery because the YouTube video I watched about that was like only 3 months old. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I need to wait a little bit. So I don't know. I'm gonna hang out until Black Friday, and that was the only thing I was really in the market for. What about you? Did you pick up anything?
No, I didn't. I tried to sign up for all the giveaways because I wanted to get lucky and get.
I did too. Yeah, I did. I signed up for a ton of them.
Yeah, there was like an 80-inch 4K TV and like a 75-inch 4K TV, and so I signed up for both of those. And there was like a phone and some other like little things that I signed up for. I don't have high hopes for that, but you never know. I could be watching two giant 4K TVs. Super
good point. Yeah, you could put one of them in your bathroom.
That would be awesome.
I think I signed up for I feel like I watched a ton of the same ad over and over again because I have been signing up for almost every giveaway that looks interesting to me. So I signed up for 20 or 30 things. Mm-hmm. Stuff I don't even need, like a rice cooker or a new washing machine.
That would be cool.
I mean, I could sell it.
Well, that was the other thing I thought of. There was a lot of things I scrolled past. I was like, well, I don't really want this, but maybe I could sell it. And so I would sign up for that too.
You just watch a 30-second ad.
Yeah.
This next thing you put on here.
I did. So going back to our list of things that are releasing this week, Far Cry 5's Mars DLC released today as we're recording this, but it will have already been out by the time this podcast goes up. It is not getting great reviews.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which, whatever. It's a DLC add-on. It's a little bit more of the game. I liked the aesthetic of it because it was so different from the base game. And it seemed, from what I've seen, it has kind of a Starship Troopers vibe because you're killing these sort of bug-like aliens on Mars. And but you do have to deal with the characters from the base game, and they're kind of annoying hicks. But at the same time, some people really love those characters because they're so off the wall. So I guess.
Wait, why are they on Mars?
I haven't played it yet, so I don't know the exact details as to how they get there. I just know one of them ends up on Mars and ends up getting Nick, who I think is the pilot eventually, to also get beamed up to Mars or whatever. And so you're kind of you're playing as Nick, I believe, throughout this thing. And
interesting.
I want to say at some point it probably crosses over and ties into that one side quest that I was telling you about, and I put up a video of with that one guy that eventually gets beamed up, and he leaves you this cool alien blaster gun, which we put up a video on our the channel about it. But I'm keep wondering if when that's gonna come back around, or if it does at all during this DLC, but. I guess the critics aren't in love with it for some reason, but I kind of still want to check it out. Maybe I'll do that and we'll put up a video for it. So
yeah, I would be interested to see. I think I talked about this last week, but today as we're recording this, Sonic Mania Plus also came out. It adds 2 characters. One of them is Mighty the Armadillo. Ray the Flying Squirrel is the other one. And it also adds an encore mode with remixed levels. And the encore mode is sort of it kind of gets rid of lives. Instead of lives, you just collect characters basically that you can swap between, which is interesting and very different for a Sonic game. But I'm going to pick it up. I think it's only $5, so I'm definitely going to download it and play it. Because I love Sonic and I love Sonic Mania. So.
I'd like to do a video on this because I kind of want to see what this is all about, and I have no intention of playing it myself, but I want to see you play it and tell me about it.
Yeah, I would do that. I would make a little video. I'll review it.
Yeah, that would be great. We should definitely start doing some reviews. Speaking of which, maybe next week I will play some of the new Overwatch hero Wrecking Ball. And maybe I'll do some recording and we can talk about the new character and get a sense of what he plays like. because he will be live on everything. Like, he's been out on the PTR, which is, I think, like the test servers for Overwatch. But he will be officially live for everyone to play on July 24th. That's next week. So I'm interested to check him out.
I thought his name was Hammond.
So the character's name is Hammond, but like he's this little a hamster, and he's in this like mech thing, and so his hero name, I guess, with the mech is called Wrecking Ball. It's weird, but yeah. So that's gonna come out, and I'm very interested to check him out. I like playing tanks, so this seems like a character that I might have some fun with.
This next article isn't necessarily game related, but I thought it was interesting because we sometimes talk about movies. Were you aware of this movie, Asura?
I wasn't, but I was just reading this article that you put in our show notes about it, and this is kind of interesting news, yeah.
So I was only aware of this because of the trailer. I watched the trailer and then I guess completely forgot about it because I just rewatched it and I was like, oh, I've seen this. But the trailer, I think, got posted on Reddit because it was so insane. Like, the production values, this is the first $100 million Chinese movie, I think. And so the production value is crazy. Like, it. The reason I liked it was because it had this weird little puppet man falling around that looked like basically an upturned pumpkin with a cloak. But the story, I'm not really sure about. The trailer has subtitle. Anyway, the main thing about this. So Asura was like the first like big budget Chinese film.
Yeah, China's most expensive movie ever made.
They put it out this weekend, and it made like $7 million. So they did something that I don't think has ever happened before. It would probably never happen in America. They were like, we're taking the movie out of theaters, we're going to change it, we're going to re-edit it, I think we're going to shoot new scenes, and then we're going to re-release it, and it's going to be a different movie.
Yeah, that is bizarre. That's really crazy to me. That's completely bonkers. So they're literally like, all right, so this movie's not making money, but we have to like recoup, some of our losses on this. So let's pull it from theaters, change almost everything about it. How much more is that going to cost you? And then send it back out to theaters and hope it does better the next time? I guess maybe the one thing that will be their saving grace is that it's now this like big like news story. So them pulling it from theaters, maybe they'll get some interest from people who are like, all right, well, what is this all about? What's going on here?
Well, so here's something else I wonder, because now I want to see it. But
yeah.
Do you think there's a way for us to watch the original? Do you think they'll ever release the part that was, or the version that was in theaters initially?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder. Well, the one thing is maybe when it comes out on like DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, it might have like a special edition that comes with like the original edit of the movie. But I don't think that's gonna release in theaters as like, here's the original, here's the update.
I don't know. Yeah, like the closest thing I can think of would be, and this is not close at all, but like when Clue came out, it had all those different endings, like depending on the theater you went to. Yeah. But that's not really similar to this. And when they put that on DVD, it just like has all the endings at the end. But this is a completely different movie. Like, this is like that fabled secret cut of Justice League that what is the detail of that? Like,
I don't know.
There's like one that people want.
Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be much longer, and I don't know.
Who's the original director of that?
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, they want to release the Zack Snyder cut or whatever, but people say it doesn't exist, and some people say it does exist. But yeah, this is like if they released like a Batman or like a Justice League movie, and then it did terribly, and then they were like, all right, forget that. Give us like a month. We're gonna re-release it.
The thing is, this is like it's like a fantasy epic for people that aren't like gonna go track down the trailer to this thing. So like they're comparing it to something like maybe Lord of the Rings. So say Lord of the Rings is this huge project, and they've spent all this money on it, and maybe they've even made multiple movies, and they've like thrown a bunch of resources into it, and then the first movie flops so terribly that they're like, all right, we have like all this money put into this, like we gotta somehow make some money from this.
We can't stop the train, but we got to change tracks somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That is crazy. It's pretty unprecedented, I would say. But now I do want to watch it.
I also, yeah. This is something I will definitely, if it comes out on Google Play, I'll definitely rent it. Because I think the trailer is definitely worth a watch. Because it's so, the production values are so high. And it's also like very, it's not hard to follow. Because obviously it's like a boy who is like important. And then he gets taken to a magical land. But it's just like a bunch of crazy stuff is going on. And I'm interested. I was interested before this. But now I'm like very interested.
Yeah. I'm also, I'd never heard of this before until I saw it in the show notes, and now I really want to see it. So,
would you watch an Uncharted film starring Nathan Fillion?
I would, and this is like almost the exact opposite of the last story that we were just talking about. So, what if I told you that there was an Uncharted movie starring Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake? But it's a short movie, like like maybe a fan film that is sort of proof of concept that might hopefully turn into like a full-length feature film.
This is kind of like when they leaked that Deadpool, like kind of proof of concept, and then we're hoping to get it made into a movie. I thought this was, I didn't watch all of it. I kind of skipped around because I was at work, but there is a scene in it that is like almost exactly like game footage. Like it does that thing where it's basically like cinematic, and then the letterbox goes up slowly, and then you're behind him, and the camera movements are like so spot on to an Uncharted game. Like it even goes over the shoulder when he aims at people, and there's a part where it definitely could be like a quick time or a button press event where like he jumps in the air and he punches someone. Like, and also, like, everyone has always said from the inception of
Uncharted
that Nathan Fillion should play Nathan Drake.
He's always been the obvious choice because the character Nathan Drake looks and sounds a bit like Nathan Fillion. So everyone has always wanted a film based on the Uncharted series starring Nathan Fillion. And now that exists, basically, as this short fan film. And you're right, yeah, whoever directed this thing did basically the best job that anyone has ever done adapting a game to a film because they made it feel like the game. And
it was so good.
Yeah, not just in the fact that it feels like the characters and like them saying things that they would say and doing things that they would do, but also just having those sort of gamey moments where, the camera sort of like moves in behind him, so it's like a third-person action shot the way it would in the game. But just like sort of capturing those sort of action moments that feel very much like what you would have played in the game.
Do you think this will lead to a full-length movie?
I have no idea, but I really hope it does, because it's gotten a lot of buzz this last week, so maybe.
Nathan Fillion is great, to the point where like he's going to be in a new fall show on ABC, and I usually don't watch network TV, but I like Nathan Fillion. I think this is another reason why this got made, because he has been a little bit like not in shape, and I think he had to get super in shape for this show because he plays a cop. So like now that he's all fit, he's able to like do crazy stunts and whatnot. So like I love Nathan Fillion.
I was gonna say I've seen him in Castle a few times, and he did not look this in shape. So he very definitely got in really good shape to supposedly for this other TV show that he's doing. But like this is the right time to cast him as Nathan Drake, because he's only going to get older at this point, and he's in he's in shape enough to play the character. And you don't want to wait too much longer, because then he'll be too old to play the character. So,
and those kinds of movies are so easy to make. Like it's basically an Indiana Jones movie. All you need is like an Indiana Jones mystery.
Indiana Jones mixed with National Treasure. If you put those two together, you would have Uncharted.
Which sounds great. I would totally watch that.
Yeah,
especially if Nathan Fillion is the main guy. He's got that like wit, that
he
quick
does,
wit.
For sure. He could definitely lead a movie like this. And I like Nathan Fillion a lot as well. I've liked him since Firefly. He definitely has that charisma and sort of he's very quippy as well, but he can pull it off in a way that's not irritating. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to have a full-length Uncharted movie.
Maybe we will.
Maybe that'll happen now. Who knows?
Something else you have liked for a long time, Zach, from the beginning, is No Man's Sky.
That's a little strong.
You played it.
Yeah, but I've played a lot of games I didn't necessarily like. But so yeah, I did play No Man's Sky when it first came out, and I enjoyed it for the first like handful of hours, and then got bored with it and stopped playing it. But they have added a ton of stuff to it, and they have just outlined the next update, which seems pretty massive. And this is like, if they release the game like today with what it's got in it now and the stuff that like is about to come out, like this is above and beyond what they were promising. I want to say that like they promised a whole bunch of stuff and they didn't deliver on it, and people got very mad at them about it. But at this point, the game, like, they stuck with it. They didn't give up on it. They kept adding stuff to it. They kept trying to improve it. And once this next update comes out, they will have essentially done everything that they promised and probably a little bit more.
Well, so something that famously they were like very vague about, because they were like, this is like a shared universe, and like you're going to be exploring these worlds, and people are also going to be exploring these worlds, and if you go to a planet and name it, and
other
like,
people
do
will
stuff
see
on
it.
Exactly. So people are like, oh, it's got multiplayer, and they were just like, yeah, it's a shared world. But then people actually did experiments and tried to be on the same, and like there's so many planets. It's huge. But
2 streamers, I think, within like the first month of the game's release, happened to land on the exact same planet as each other, and they were in what they could very definitely tell was the same area. And they were like tweeting at the maker of the game, and he was like, "Oh, the universe is so big that could like basically never happen." But they had done it within like the first month, and the problem was that they couldn't see each other. So basically, they ruled out the fact that you could actually play multiplayer, because even if you happen to find the same planet in this gigantic universe, you couldn't see each other, so you couldn't interact at all. But that's going to change.
What this is. Yeah. No Man's Sky Next. We keep calling it the Next update because it's called No Man's Sky Next. And this adds multiplayer, and it adds third-person camera, which was not a thing that we ever had in the original. And it adds like all this crazy stuff. Like you can command a fleet of freighters, and like there's unlimited base building. You can build bases wherever you want. But I think the most important thing is it adds the multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that is the thing that people wanted most out of this. So that'll definitely be the biggest selling point. I mean, third person is cool. It was supposed to be kind of a visual overhaul as well. Like,
oh, really?
It's supposed to be just sort of improved visuals in general, on top of the fact that they were adding third person to both, like when you're on foot and in like your ships, which I guess is kind of cool. I don't know if I would play it that way or not, but it's nice to have the option.
Are you going to jump back in?
I don't know. I feel like if I were going to jump back into this game, I would start fresh, because I have no idea where I left off in the game at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is the kind of game I would rather play on PC, and I have it for PS4 because I didn't have my PC back then. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the updates are free. I want to say they are.
I believe that they are, yeah.
But yeah, the game just came out recently on Xbox One as well. So if you're on Xbox and you're thinking about diving into this game, like, it is as close as it's ever been to delivering on the original vision of the game at this point as it's ever been. So I would say it's probably worth it, especially if you have some friends to play with, because now you can do that. Yeah,
for sure. If you want to jump into this with like other people, I think that changes the game fundamentally, and I think it makes it like much more fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like, you ask if I want to jump back in. I would say if you were also going to jump back in with it into the game, or jump in for the first time, I would definitely jump back in just to check out what the multiplayer is all about.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't know. It's interesting. It's something that I definitely want to watch some videos on. I mean, maybe we'll make a video, but I'm very interested to see like how in depth the multiplayer is. Like if they added any sort of like co-op puzzles or anything. They probably didn't. It's probably just like exploring together. But I mean, you just explore together in Minecraft, and that's super fun. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm curious what, or if there is any sort of added combat element or not, and because like the ship battles were actually kind of fun, or just originally, but now I feel like there's probably going to be more of an added emphasis on that. I'm curious how much the multiplayer changes things, because is it going to be sort of like a, what is that? We always called it No Man's Sea. Oh, the pirate game.
Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, Sea of Thieves, where you can actually like encounter other groups of people in their like, in their big freighters or whatever, and you can like fight them and maybe steal their resources and stuff like that. Like, is that going to be a thing in this game now? Because that changes everything about the game.
I believe I did read somewhere in one of the blurbs, one of the things was like, work with friends or prey upon them. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I think the dream of this kind of thing in like Sea of Thieves is not what we have right now, where when you see players, you're basically like, oh, okay, I'm about to get griefed. Like, it's never going to be, you want like interesting, fun encounters where like you run into someone, you're both using voice chat, and you can almost like role play a little bit. But most of the time when you run into other people online, it's just a terrible experience. And there's not really a way to maybe there is. Maybe there's a way to design a game where it's hard to be a horrible person. But
that's the thing that I've always said as well. Like, the reason why I'm not playing No Man's Sea, I cannot, Sea of Thieves, that's what it's called. The reason why I'm not playing that, or even like I didn't get into the Division's Dark Zone, or like GTA's Free Roam, is specifically because of that, where like you encounter another person and you don't know whether they're just going to randomly kill you and steal everything that you had for no reason at all. So that's why I like more shared world games like a Destiny or something like that, where the PvP aspect and the PvE aspect are very clearly divided, and you know what you're in for when you pick which mode you're going to join into.
I didn't put this in the show notes, but I believe that Destiny patch came out today where they added bounties and some quality of life things. Yeah,
you said you were trying to get into Destiny 2 the other day, and I'm curious if you got to play any of it at all.
I don't know. I haven't checked it out because the PSN servers or whatever were down over the weekend, and I don't know. Like, bounties are kind of interesting, but I am more interested in Forsaken. I think I probably am going to play it. I know that you're still feeling a little burned and you want to wait a little bit, but I don't know. Destiny 1 was such a good experience for me, especially like the first couple of weeks just exploring. I was thinking about this the other day, how like the Cosmodrome is just such an iconic map, and like I know like every single part of it, but I don't really like care about any of the maps in Destiny 2. Like there are definitely parts of the EDZ that I have not been to, and I don't know, I think they're trying to rectify that by making this more of like I don't really care about just like getting like a 4-pack of missions where like, oh, do these missions on a new planet now. This is more, it seems like, hunting down these like 8 different barons, and each fight is unique and different, which is interesting to me. Something else we didn't talk about. Did you hear that Nolan North is voicing Cade in this DLC.
What? Why?
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it's because Nathan Fillion was busy shooting that cop show, or the Nathan
Or
Drake
Uncharted.
thing. Yeah, but for whatever reason, people were like, "Oh yeah, Cade sounds off in all the trailers," and apparently it's because Nolan North is voicing Cade in the Forsaken DLC.
I don't know how I feel about that. Do not like losing Nathan Fillion.
I feel like it lends credence to the theory that he actually is dead.
Well, so what I think it lends credence to is the fact that Nathan Fillion wants out of the Destiny games. he wants to be.
I don't
done
know.
with
He
that.
loves, he had a special Ace of Spades replica made for him. He loves to be Cade.
Maybe he was too busy doing other things, so he couldn't join them for this DLC. So they had to get somebody else to do it. But what I think it is that Cade 6 is dead, but he will come back as Cade 7, and so maybe his voice has changed a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what is going to be happening in the next year for Destiny after Forsaken, because they're going to do that weird new kind of DLC where it's going to be more activity/item focused instead of story focused, and I really wonder if they didn't learn their lesson last time, but I wonder if they'll learn their lesson for whatever Destiny 3 is going to be. I feel like, as with Destiny 1, there's all those rumors behind the scenes where they were almost done with the game, and then somebody came in and they were like, no, take all this stuff out. And I think with Destiny 2, how it was delayed, they were trying to make it on a new engine. They were trying to do interesting stuff, and then for whatever reason, someone came and they were like, no. And so they had to use the original engine, and they could only tweak things so much. And so that's why parts of Destiny 2, it feels like they didn't listen, but it could just be that they couldn't listen because they were still kind of hamstrung by having to use the same engine. So with the forethought of the previous two games, I wonder if they actually will come out with a revolutionized Destiny 3 whenever that happens, and because it is supposed to be a 10-year journey. So
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm very interested to see if Cade actually does die. What's this? The thing I am most excited about for this DLC is I think they're finally understanding that people don't want constant quips. They keep talking about how this is a serious DLC, and people aren't just going to be quipping left and right. Something happens and your ghost is just whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, I hate the ghost. I'll be honest. I find him
I think
so
the tone
annoying.
is definitely going to change. So that remains to be seen. I just am very curious where the narrative is going and what this game will, because this Forsaken DLC is a big deal in that people don't have to buy it. So it still could be a thing where they lose a significant amount of the player base because
but they're
people are
also
just done with
asking
them.
people to pay for a more expensive thing in order to get future DLCs. Aren't they changing the model of their DLC and their payment method and the going forward?
Well, so I think you can just buy the base Forsaken DLC, but if you want the deluxe, it's like previous years where if you want the deluxe edition, which includes the next two DLCs, you can buy that. But yeah, they're not going to be story based. They're going to be activity/loot based.
Which, I don't know. I don't care about the story in Destiny. They've never done a good job of telling that story. So there's,
Very true.
It's hard for me to get invested in that. But, I should admit, I did jump in, a couple days ago, just to, see where everything was at, because they kept saying how they were adding new stuff, and I was curious about it. But, I played for maybe a half hour, and I was I couldn't do anything new, basically. I had to try to grind through the old stuff, or, go back to grinding for the Flashpoint or whatever, the weekly stuff, in order to earn stuff to, gear up my guy. And that was all the boring stuff that I got so tired of doing in the first place and left however long ago at this point. And so I started doing that stuff again. I was like, yeah, this is boring, and this is why I left to begin with. So I put it down after a half hour, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess maybe if there was like the new Forsaken content like out there hanging, and I knew I could just like grind through some of the stuff I could get to that, then maybe I would be willing to do it, but I just wasn't feeling it right now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's always been, I think we've said this 1,000 times, but it's always been more about the loot than the story. And when they can wrap their heads around creating interesting loot that you either have to grind for or do like challenges for, I think that will make it the game that Destiny 1 was. But as it stands, like, no armor is like super interesting, and a lot of the guns feel samey. Yeah. So
have they said anything about refreshing the strikes or like redesigning the strike playlists or doing anything with those?
They did say that the director is going to be changed, but I'm not sure how in depth they got on that. Like, it's not going to be that thing again where you like hold L2 and like you have the window that comes up and it's like, here are all your milestones. It's going to be less milestone focused and more like activity focused. So instead of you having that list of things you have to do, now like planets are going to be like lit up or something when you have specific things going on, and like there's going to be maybe more like daily stuff, which I'm all for. Like, I used to love in Destiny 1 going and doing the daily heroic like story mission. That was great, and it would actually get you stuff that mattered because it would give you like heroic marks or whatever. I don't even remember how it was. They had 1,000 currencies in Destiny 1 for a while, but I don't know. I have definitely been burned by Destiny as well, but I'm chasing that first year of, and I guess first and second year of Destiny 1 kind of feeling where I was just like, man, what's going to happen? Like, I want this hand cannon. I want this specific shotgun. I want to do like all this stuff. Remember when we were grinding for, what was that one shotgun that you had to do all that stuff for? And then the last part of it was doing the Brothers strike on the Dreadnought, and you got it, and it was like really cool. Remember that?
Yeah, that was the Tex Mechanica one that you like flipped around. That was a pretty cool gun. And that was a fun thing to do. Like, you had to do a bunch of different things for that exotic quest, and then you and me loaded in, and you had to kill the bosses in a specific way. I think you had to like land the final hit on them or something with a shotgun. Yeah, that was great. Like, Destiny 1, I mean, I've said it, I feel like I'm a broken record, but like the getting Thorn was really fun. Like, they just need to fix it. Yeah. I want it to be good. Like, I want it so badly to be good.
They definitely need to bring back that stuff and make it so that people feel like they have a reason for grinding for things, and like some of the weapons and armor are like really unique and cool, and that they've like given you a quest line so you know how to earn them, but also the way you earn them is done in a cool, interesting way that you remember. And they did, like, that was an emphasis for them with the Taken King, but it feels like it hasn't been ever since, and I really don't know why. So yeah, they definitely need to change that with Forsaken, but I don't know that they've necessarily said that they're doing that, but maybe they are and they just haven't mentioned it.
Maybe we talk about Destiny so much. I feel like maybe when Forsaken comes out, we should just have a section of the podcast where we just like talk about Destiny.
Maybe we'll we'll have a Destiny section to the podcast with that.
The Destiny Corner or the Destiny Minute or something.
Yeah, that people can either skip over or enjoy, you know.
Yeah, maybe it'll be the last thing we do ever do. Anyway, on to things we actually are playing currently. I want to talk about your thing first. You wrote Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah. So what was it? We were talking about it recently. I've not been playing for super long, but I have re-downloaded the app and started playing again. Of course, they had their like event in Chicago recently where they're and there's been a lot going on with that, so I have been playing it again, and I looked up some like guides on how to do some of the new stuff that's been added, and like stuff that I should have known from a long time ago, and I realized I've been going about like leveling up and evolving characters in the wrong way for a long time. So,
oh really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, there's like an appraisal system that you can go through so that you know which characters or Pokemon are worth actually evolving and powering up. And I paid no attention to that whatsoever in the early days of the game when I was actually playing it quite a bit. And so I have a lot of my like highest combat power Pokemon are not great. Some of them are good, but yeah, so I'm trying to like essentially remake my roster of Pokemon as I go now. And also, like, we played it a bunch when it came out, but we kind of dropped off very quickly, like, as the summer sort of wound to an end there, that first year it came out. And I've just sort of picked it up again randomly here and there over time. Like, I used to work overnights in, like, the downtown area here, where there's, like, a lot of Pokestops and a lot of Pokemon spawning and all this stuff. So one way I would get through some of those, like, long overnight shifts where I had nothing going on, I would open Pokemon Go and just, like, spin those Pokestops that are near the building and pick up some Pokemon as well. And so, like, I kind of leveled up quite a bit just through doing that. But now I'm actually, like, back into it. I'm like, this game has been updated enough to where things are pretty interesting and there's a lot kind of going on with it. Like, there are raids now that are...
So we can be friends on it.
Yeah, and we can be friends. We can trade Pokemon. I keep sending you gifts and I keep wanting you to, like, open them and then send me gifts as well, but...
I don't have any gifts.
You gotta spend a Pokestop.
I know, I have to go to a Pokestop. I don't live by... It used to be, man, in the golden age of Pokemon Go, right when it came out, my girlfriend used to live right above a Pokestop, and it was also right by a bar, so a bunch of drunk people would always be putting lures on the Pokestop. So I was living the good life, man. I was making it rain.
Yeah.
But now I always forget to turn it on when I'm walking around, and I don't live or work next to a Pokestop, really. I guess if I walk to the front of the building, I could get to one. But yeah, I just need to start going to them because I haven't been getting any gifts. And also I'm running out of Pokeballs because I'm only using them. I'm not, like, gaining them.
Yeah, so that's a problem I've had as well. That's one of the things that is sort of the struggle if you live in, like, a smaller town or in, like, a rural area and you want to play Pokemon Go. But yeah, the downtown area has a bunch. And I, like, last week, I think, when I got... off of work, I just like decided, all right, I'm gonna get some exercise, I'm gonna see some sights, and I'm gonna play this Pokemon Go thing again for the first time in like forever. And I actually walked around the downtown area and just like grabbed a bunch of Pokestops and some Pokemon and battled at one of the gyms, and it was a fun time. And it reminded me of why I liked the concept of the game to begin with, because it is about like encouraging you to be active and get out and like sort of see points of interest in your town. But also it's like this fun AR thing that, yeah, it's a lot of fun and it has a lot of character to it. And so even though I'm not like a huge Pokemon person, like it wasn't a huge thing for me when I was growing up. Like I watched the original series, but I never played the games. I don't know. Somehow I'm still like super into it. So I think it can be fun even if you're not like a super Pokemon person or whatever. But I will say that leads into the other thing that I just started playing today.
Yes, I'm very excited to hear about this.
Randomly, out of nowhere. This is a thing that I never thought I would play, but Jurassic World Alive came out, 2 months ago? It came out in May.
Yeah.
And it is essentially, on the outset, it looks like the Jurassic Park version of Pokemon Go, because it's this AR game where there's a map and you're in it and you're collecting these monsters that are actually dinosaurs and you're trying to collect them all and you're doing battle with them. But that is where the similarities end for these two games. It is buggier than Pokemon Go, I guess, because it's newer. it needs some polish, but I'm
Can you turn off the AR like you can on Pokemon Go?
Well, so when you're actually capturing them, it doesn't have that AR thing. Where it has the AR is after you've created one. So that's another difference that we'll get to. But so when you create a dinosaur, there is like an AR option where if you want to, you can like essentially, it's kind of like AR stickers in the Google camera where you can take a picture of it with the dinosaur just sort of in real life or whatever. But that's sort of the extent of the AR stuff, other than the fact that you're sort of walking in their virtual Google Maps.
Yeah.
It does a lot of things that Pokemon Go should do, or people would like it to do. Like there's PvP, for instance.
Ooh, that's what I've always wanted from Pokemon Go.
And the other thing is, like, we were just talking about how it can be rough playing Pokemon Go in like a smaller town or in like a rural area. This game feels like it was designed to be played anywhere. So like people in smaller, more rural locations can actually play this game and not have to be like, oh, this was made for a big city, you know, where there's all kinds of attractions for people to go like battle at gyms and stuff. Like it's in Pokemon Go, all of the Pokestops are tied to points of interest, like sculptures, plaques, like pieces of art, things like that. And the gyms are tied to like parks and like churches and other like bigger significant things. But in Jurassic World Alive,
I thought you were talking about Jurassic Park Alive.
No, that's Pokemon Go. And in Jurassic World Alive, instead of what are they, Pokestops, they have like supply drops, and they can be anywhere. So like when I open Pokemon Go, there's one Pokestop like 2 streets away from me in a place that's not real accessible to me. But when I open Jurassic World Alive, there's like 10 or more just in my neighborhood that I could easily walk to.
So are they constantly dropping, or are they always in the same place?
They're always in the same place, but you can walk to them and you spend them and you get some stuff. And instead of like when you find a dinosaur, instead of like throwing a Pokeball at it, you launch this drone. And so the capture process is a little bit more elaborate. You like hold on the screen and you like move your little drone and you like shoot these darts at it. And so you can shoot it multiple times, and the more you shoot it, and there's like a target on it that you have to like, the closer you hit towards the middle, the more points you get basically. And what you're trying to do is extract DNA from the dinosaurs. And
Dino DNA.
Yeah, exactly. Dino DNA. And when you get to like a certain amount, you can then create your own. So you're not actually capturing the ones that you find in the wild. You're extracting DNA so that you can then sort of create your own. And then with those DNA points, you create them, but then you can also use them if you find more of them to level them up. And so the battle system, like once you earn your first 4 dinosaurs, you can then jump into the battles, which you can do from anywhere. You don't have to find some gym at some like park or church. Literally from your couch. You can sit on your couch and you can like start battling with someone from who knows where at any time.
So it's not proximity based?
Exactly. So
I could battle someone who's in like Europe?
I don't know where they're from. You just, it just does matchmaking basically, and it finds somebody and you battle them. And it's this turn-based combat system that's somewhat similar to Pokemon Go, where your monster has these like 2 or 3 different moves, and they might have like some sort of status effect or whatever. And the abilities are all different, and some of them are like faster or stronger than others, and you can like swap to a different dinosaur as you go. It's actually probably, I think, a more fun battle system than the Pokemon Go one, which is very like button mashy. I don't know if you've done any gym battles or raids or anything.
No, I have never been able to figure out gym battles. I only really catch Pokemon.
I've done some gym battles, and I enjoy that. I've done a couple of raids. I'm not super familiar with that, but I've done a few of them. But this is so much simpler, and yet so much, I think, more fun and more strategic, because it is this turn-based thing where you have 4 dinosaurs with different skills or different abilities, and so you queue up attack at the same time your opponent queues up an attack, and like you can swap out your dinosaurs and everything. And then, like, it's basically first to 3 kills wins.
And then when you win, you get items, like you get in-game currency, you get some DNA from dinosaurs that you can use to either create a new dinosaur or level up an existing one. So you don't necessarily have to like go around. Like I literally didn't leave my house today or this evening when I started playing, and I leveled up to level 3. I had done a whole bunch of battles, and I had created like a handful of dinosaurs.
What happens to you if you lose?
You just don't get the rewards, basically.
There's not a penalty?
I don't think so. But like when you win, so you get like an incubator thing, and it like takes a certain amount of time to like hatch that. And when you hatch it, it comes with, I guess maybe that's not the right word, but like when it's done, it opens and you get like some rewards, like you get some cash and some DNA and stuff like that. And you only have like 4 slots for those incubators. So like basically once you get to 4 wins, you have to start hatching those incubators, and they each take like 3 to 8 hours or something. And you can speed those up with like in-game currency or like paid currency. Like that's where some of the in-app purchase elements start to come into play. But like you can...
Oh, it has purchases.
Yeah, it probably has more of them than Pokemon Go. So it is a little bit more sketchy in that way than Pokemon Go. But you can choose to ignore all of that if you want, just the same way you can in Pokemon Go. Like you don't have to pay for anything, but you can. I don't know. I actually found it really interesting, and I kind of enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to.
Maybe I'll download it. Can we be friends on it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I want to say not yet. It's very early. Like it's 2 months in. And it definitely needs to adapt some of the things that have come to Pokemon Go over time. But it also has stuff that Pokemon Go doesn't. And it does things that I wish Pokemon Go was doing. So yeah, I think you should definitely download it and try it, because you might actually enjoy it. And since you can play it from like your own home, and actually have some like meaningful progression based on playing it without going out and about. Like that means for us in the winter when it's too cold to go out, or in the summer when it's way too hot to be outside, you can still play this game and accomplish something.
Well, Zach, I'm going to download it.
You should. That doesn't mean I'm going to not play more Pokemon Go. Like I still plan on playing more of that game, because I'm not sure. I think I still like it better than Jurassic World Alive, but I like the ideas that Jurassic World Alive is bringing to the table as well. And I like the idea that I don't have to leave my house in order to interact with it, or that I can just like, I don't have to drive somewhere basically. Like I can walk around my neighborhood and still accomplish something and gather items. And I can't do that in Pokemon Go.
You shouldn't drive when you play Pokemon Go. It gives you a warning thing like, don't drive. Don't, what else did it say? It says,
don't wander into dangerous areas or something like that.
Yeah, also don't trespass.
Yeah. Don't trespass and don't drive while playing the game. Oh, also, like, I don't want to mislead you and say that you can play Jurassic World Alive without needing to leave your house. Like you still like are going to benefit from getting out and about with that game, but you can play it from home.
Well, so what I've been playing very quickly, I went to video games, etc., and I sold a bunch of PS4 games that I have no interest in playing anymore, and I picked up Mario Rabbids Battle. What is it?
Kingdom Battle.
Mario Rabbids. Yeah. Because it's something I always wanted to try out, and I never had the time, and I was just like, I'll pick it up. And I sold a bunch of games, so I only paid like $4 for it.
Nice.
And it's really, really fun. Like I've been able to put it down, but I mean, when I play it for like an hour, because it's just like so engrossing to do those turn-based battles, and you feel so good when you like work up like a great combo. So like once you beat an area, you can go back and do the challenges in that area, which are like difficult, and there's like secret things you can unlock. So I beat the first area, and I have just started like going through the first area to do like the challenges and to unlock the secret parts of it. But it's very beautiful. It's like beautifully animated, and the graphics are great. and it's a lot of fun. It scratches that like turn-based combat itch. I'm really enjoying it.
Are you gonna get the Donkey Kong DLC?
Maybe, because like that's another reason like it was on my mind, because that just came out and people are really liking that.
Yeah.
So it could be that by the time I beat it, if nothing else is out, I might pick up that Donkey Kong DLC because it seems super fun.
Yeah, I've been curious about this game, and I would actually really like it if we did a video on it, but maybe, I don't know. I've never played an XCOM game either, and this is like essentially Mario the XCOM game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to watch you play some of this. So we should definitely
maybe I'll get some footage of it.
Yeah. But yeah, it seemed cool when it came out. It got good reviews. People were really enjoying it. I hear it gets
it's unique.
I hear it gets very difficult though.
Yes, so I am doing the challenges now, and some of the challenges are kind of difficult. And I realized that like the first zone or like the first world is really training wheels. Like I could put status effects on people, but status effects weren't being put on me. And I think the second world is where you start to see like enemies being able to like shoot you with the thing that like makes you not able to move or like reduces your abilities, and like enemies having the ability to have like Overwatch, where if they see you running, then they can get like basically an attack of opportunity on you. So it could very well be that I think the second world is like a desert/ice world, so it could be that that's where it really ramps up. But right now I'm just having fun doing the easy challenges, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. Unless you have anything, do you want to have any parting words for this week?
No.
We'll be back next week. I will have played Sonic Mania Plus, so I'll have some reviews of that. And I'll also have played, we're going to put probably some videos out about the Enter the Gungeon update as well, so look out for that.
And I may do a video on the Far Cry 5 Mars DLC as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Starside Chat.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and send us an email with comments and questions and discussion topics at starsidecafe@gmail.com, and we'll read them on the next podcast and talk about them and stuff like that.
Yes, if you have any questions, we'll definitely do a mailbag.
I would love to do a mailbag section. We just got to get some emails.
All right, well, we'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.